And now, ladies and gentlemen, we return with a showdown between the Skaven, who shall be led by Aneurysm Sauce and Lord Skrolk. And today, my friends, he faces off against the Beastmen, who shall be led by AK Destroyer, who shall be using a wild Beastlord pick, so certainly very rare not to see Morkr the Shadowgate, but let's go ahead and see how it pans out for him. Now, as far as the Skaven build goes, it's also going to be quite different. Clan Rats with spears in the front line, so normally you see like Skaven slaves, right, with like plague furnaces and things like that backing it up. This is actually going to be a pretty aggressive Skaven build. It's going to be a quad Plague Monk. Now, Plague Monks are a pretty rare sighting indeed, but they are pretty good at cutting through chaff. So for example, like Ungors, and you know, they'll do well against Gore Herds as well. Bonus versus infantry, they're immune to psychology while their frenzy's active, and they do also have physical resist. So I think in terms of like a straight trade against Gore Herds, I'm pretty sure they would win, but not 100% on that. We'll have to go ahead and watch here and see. So front line is Plague Monks, Clan Rat Spears in front. Hellpit Abomination is always pretty good against Minotaurs. Chaos Spawn, it regenerates, it's tough to take down. And it's one of those things that if you commit to killing it, but you don't quite finish it, and it regenerates and heals, you're really going to be in some serious trouble. So Skaven Slave Slingers across the back line, Council Guard Storm Vermin, Skaven Slave Spears in the back. And for his leadership kit, I believe it's going to be Skrolk Daddy. Yeah, it's going to be Skrolk, a Warlock Engineer for the Mortis Engine effect, Howling Warp Gale. Against Banshees, not Banshees or Harpies, but I'm not sure what other flying threats the Beastmen have. Not really sure if I would bring Howling Warp Gale. And he does also have an Assassin as well. But nonetheless, Skrolk is probably going to have his summons, all those sort of goodies. And yes, he does. And it should be pretty good. So for the Beastmen, he's got a front line of Ungor Spearman Herds. It looks like Gore Herds in the secondary for some lawnmower action. Gore Herds, of course, against most Skaven troops will just be absolute buzzsaws. Got a lot of Hounds as well. Probably expecting some Skaven gunline troops like Jezzails and, you know, artillery pieces in the back. So having mobility against Skaven is always very good. And Pigs. So the Pig Rush is a classic build for the Beastmen. Despite getting a little bit of a nerf, a 50 gold increase, Razor Gores I think are still a very good unit. Got a Beast Lord with the Horn of Kygor here in the back, Koroks Manrippers, more Piggies, and it looks like it is going to be a Cygor Summoner. So let's go ahead and get this fast and messy fight underway. So here come the Ungors, going to be engaging against Clan Rats, but the Plague Monks are going to be getting the better charge here, which is good. Going to be kind of engaging on the weakened flank of those units, but the Beastmen coming in with more of a collapse as well. You can see these little Plague Rats certainly doing some decent anti-infantry damage here. And yeah, it's very much going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight here, as the Skaven appear to be overloading this position here. This flank will probably go to the Beastmen. I mean, they just have so many Gore Herds and Ungors up here, Hound support that can flank in and collapse on these guys. So for the most part, it looks like the Skaven have kind of conceded that position and are trying to overload this middle flank here. And it's going pretty well. The terror routes from the big old Hellpit Abomination able to break back the Ungor Spearman Herds. The Assassin and Lord Skrolk able to do well, but the Pigs are coming in maybe a little bit late here. It's a risky gambit because now there's a Hellpit, there's tons of Clan Rat Spears. Yeah, they'll do some decent shock damage, but unless there's more follow-up here from the Beastmen, I don't know if I agree with sending in the Pigs here, but we'll see how they do. The Razor Gores taking some casualties, doing some decent shock damage on the initial approach to the Plague Monks, putting them down to 80 models. And Plague Monks do appear to be trading pretty well with the Blackhorn's Ravagers, which are the R-War variant of Gore Herds. Now, there's a little bit of support from Skaven Slave Slingers, and nice Hound flanking as well. So you can see on the top side of the battlefield, the Hounds have gotten in on the Skaven Slaves on both positions. Over here as well. It's a really good control from Destroyer there, getting all the Hounds on the right places. But I also do like this flank overload quite a bit here from Aneurysm Sauce, as Lord Skrolk and company have really bullied the center mass. Now, here comes the countercharge from the Beastmen, summoning a Cygor in the middle of the formation. And this is something I've been seeing quite a bit. I used to love summoning Cygors in the back and using their boulders, but it seems like a lot of people actually summon them in melee right now and just use them as like a Walmart giant type pick. So it is going to be going after the Hellpit, and it still has 400 plus weapon strength. It's very, very hard. And the Koroks Manrippers have also gotten a bit of a surround here on the Hellpit Abomination. So very, very tough situation here. The Hellpit's in bad shape. It needs to pull out like back and through this way, but the Razor Gores have engaged as well. Really nice Rod of Corruption going down from Lord Skrolk. It's either Rod of Corruption or the Warplock armor from the Engineer. I think it's actually the Engineer, because I don't think Skrolk actually brought the staff. A little bit of a mistake there. I think he has Liber Bubonicus. No, it looks like he forgot the books. Oh man, that could really come back to bite him in the late game. We'll see though. So here the Hellpit Abomination regenerating, and the Warlock Engineer with its Mortis Engine effect generating some really good value. Currently, Balance of Power is in the favor of Beastmen, but it pretty much always is in the beginning, especially if you're summoning Cygors and things like that. And the Beast Lord's doing pretty well. He's moving about. He hasn't been sniped. He's got 20 kills. Ramrodding into the back of some of these Plague Monks up to 28. So taking out, 8 Plague Monk models instantly certainly isn't bad. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with like Rom the Paunch and these like Chariot type characters, and yeah, doing some good work for the Beast Lord there. Granted, Morkr, I always feel like Morkr is still better, just being able to summon Cygors, and Skaven are really good at sniping with Liber. So if things were a little bit different and it were a ranged Skaven build, that Beast Lord would be a huge liability in my opinion. Nonetheless, the Cygor is still smashing with his boulders. A big old Bless with Filth going down with Skrolk, a beautiful cast here from the Skaven player. Going to be applying poison to pretty much the entire Beastmen force, and that Mortis Engine effect really proving to be quite valuable. It's not a ton of damage, but over the course of a long and grindy and prolonged melee fight, things like that can really make all the difference. Now the Beastmen forces are buckling here a little bit. Razor Gores are being forced back. Skaven Slave or Clan Rat summons, being used to buffer the ranks. But the health hit's getting really, really low, and if that health hit goes, it's going to get rid of the terror from the Skaven, and yeah, it would just be a huge loss. Health hit abominations are not cheap. And if we look around the rest of the battlefield, it actually looks like it's going pretty well for the Beastmen. They've been able to win this flank over here. Up on the hill, there's a couple tattered Skaven troops, which the Beast Lord has now racked up 76 kills against. Hounds are chasing down routing units, probably be able to break these Plague Monks with the impact plus Beast Lord support. So, the Skaven are forced into a bit of a blob fight, but Skaven are pretty good at that. Lord Skrulk with his AoE, normally he would have the Rod of Corruption and Libra Bubonicis to really punish this type of play, and I don't know in this case if he's going to have enough. I mean, this is so much Beastman stuff. Korok's Manrippers here. We do have Ungor Herds. Helpit Abomination. Maybe if it gets a good healing proc here, that would be really nice. But it looks like it may break. It's wavering. 12 leadership, 27. It's healing almost as fast as it's taking damage, but it's still surrounded, taking all those penalties, and it is exhausted now, which of course does play into the effect of this late game situation. So the Beastmen swarming in here, it might be a bit of a mistake to pile everything in because the Mortis Engine effect is getting a ton of value. Maybe leaving a couple troops on the periphery, waiting for them to break. Oh man, and the Helpit Abomination gets a huge heal! And you can see the bounce of power actually goes back up towards the middle here as the Beastmen swarm in. However, the Beast Lord is actually a pretty good choice against Skaven infantry lords. So for example, the bonus first infantry and the AP will be able to wreck the Warlock Engineer, be able to run over Skrulk and the Assassin potentially. That Mortis Engine effect, I just can't beat on that enough. It is doing so much work. And the Gore Herds here are getting worn down. The Helpit Abomination actually able to break off the Korok's Manrippers with the Terror Route. And it looks like the Skaven might be able to get back in this game here. Man, I really thought they were done for. The Beast Lord, in the meantime, just doing his best to make sure things don't come back. It looks like there is the Brave Shaman of the Wild on his chariot as well. So these two chariot characters from the Beastmen definitely are going to want to do their best to try and take out these supporting characters like the Warlock Engineer and the Assassin, if he could perhaps knock them out of the formation. And another problem for the Beastmen is the fact that the Helpit Abomination is still healing. But of course, the Beastmen have a ton of stuff. You can see a lot of stuff coming back from Route. The Terror Routes are going to be super impactful here. But man, if Skrulk had only had his Rod of Corruption and Libra Bubonicis, yeah, it's an easy thing. I actually forget them a lot when I play in like ladder battles. I'll be like, oh yeah, let's get Skrulk. And those come with them, right? But no, they don't. Something else to consider is that the Council Guard are still here as well, so they're giving Guardian to all these Skaven characters, so that's a pretty good physical resistance boon, but ooh, that's tough. The Cygor summon in the back pocket is going to be coming in and could potentially crump some of these rats. Council Guard are down to 16 models, taking some heavy charges here from the Beastmen forces. Here, the Mighty Cygor crushing the Plague Monk summon from Skrulk. I believe that is a summon unit. No, those are actual Plague Monks. So not used to seeing regular Plague Monks. It's pretty cool for sure. But Cygor's coming in. Helpit Abomination is at 1900 HP. Here comes the giant one-eyed beast. One-eyed Willy going to be getting in there and dropping some rocks here on the Skaven forces. But now the Beastmen characters are coming in. And this is going to be definitely a big game changer here. It looks like the Helpit Abomination without the standard die or standard ground might actually break off here in a moment. It's only at 1300 HP. Some nice cycle charging here. The Horn of the First Beast. It's not Horn of Kygor, excuse me. That's a wrong unit. Nonetheless, the Beastman Lord coming in, ramrodding that Warlock Engineer, and this is nice. If he can knock that guy like away from the blob, that would be super good. And it looks like the Helpit Abomination has fallen, which may be the beginning of the end here for the Skaven. Horn of the First Beast active, giving charge bonus and leadership to these Beastman forces, but that Warlock Engineer, I wonder how many kills he has, 106. Assassin's at 60, Skrulk Daddy is at 73, and the Beastmen really coming in for the kill here, trying their best. Basically just cleaning up all the scraps here, which isn't a bad idea. You know, just use your mobile characters, make sure no Skaven can get back and defend their Rat Lord, and then from there, let the Cygor summon just do the beating until you absolutely have to engage. So that Warlock Engineer is broken. It looks like the Cygor was able to go after him, and you can see the bounce power does actually reflect that. The Warlock Engineer is going to be running for the hills, and now the Beastman characters, the Assassin's broken as well. Man, the Cygor doing so much work, and now it's Lord Skrulk. So Lord Skrulk is going to be fighting against these two Beastman casters. For characters. So we have a Brave Shaman, we do also have the Beast Lord, but the Brave Shaman on a chariot is actually pretty strong and should be able to deal with these characters. So yeah, the Warlock Engineer is going to get chased off. The Beast Lord is going to probably be able to deal with the Assassin, maybe. I mean, if RNG is in the favor of the Assassin, especially with the Trophy Heads active, he might be able to actually take out the Beast Lord. So a good idea to disengage here. Skrulk looks like he's wavering as well. 3 leadership, 10 leadership, really on death's bed. If he maybe has a summon in his back pocket, the Skaven can pull this game back. Because like a single summon plus like a flank here, which breaks the leadership of some of these troops, you can see the negative rear charge penalty applied. Maybe, just maybe, but the Beast Lord's coming in once again. Assassin's Trophy still active on him. The Brave Shaman able to chase off the Warlock Engineer. And I wonder what the current situation is with Skrulk. Does he still have a summon in the back pocket? That's going to be a big determining factor. So the Beast Lord charging. Cycle charging to the best of his abilities. He, of course, still has Gore Herds and other troops in combat, so cycle charging is completely fair game. And the Skaven, technically speaking, only have single entities left, so they would pretty much just have to sit in combat. They couldn't cycle charge either with their characters. This was actually a tournament game, so that's the reason why I'm sharing those rules with you guys, so you understand the circumstances of this battle. So the Beast Lord's going to be coming back in right here. Some of the other beasties are indeed broken, and the Brave Shaman is chasing off that Warlock Engineer. And man, this is just such a close game. Those Gore Herds are at 11 leadership, and the Beast Lord just riding back and forth and back and forth. I would imagine some of the Gore Herds may come back, and look at that, the Warlock Engineer came back, so now we just pretty much have a duel of fates. We have these couple characters here. The Beastmen are now re-engaging with the Gore Herds and Koroks Man Rippers, so of course that's all good there. And it looks like there's going to be a Devolve going down. Maybe should have saved that for like an Alpha Strike where all your units charge at once, but Devolve does have a leadership penalty, so it could actually lead to Skrulk breaking. And wow, Skrulk looks like he's going to be breaking here. 13 leadership, 18 he stabilizes. Here comes the Bray Shaman, and it looks like that's probably going to be it for the Skaven as the bounce of power is just so massive, and these Chariot characters, even if they just sat in sustained combat here, would win against these Skaven most likely. And the Koroks Man Rippers are not easy to break, even with a couple models left. Man, look at that bounce of power though, and they're still going. What a match. Well played to these two fine players. That was actually in one of my ECL qualifiers in the earlier rounds. It's always a pleasure to see the games that don't necessarily get to the finals, but are super good. And yeah, I like the builds. It was cool to see like Plague Monks and a very unorthodox build there with the Plague Monks. Normally you see like a Plague, I don't know, I guess the Plague Monks have their teeth there. Yeah, they did okay, 102, 29, 61. I don't know what I would change. I mean, I play Skaven very differently. I would probably use Skrulk, Warlock Engineer, or maybe I would probably use Ikit Claw and a Doomwheel with nothing, no spells, and then I would use not Lord Skrulk, but a Plague Priest on a Furnace for my Magician, and maybe an Assassin as well. I don't know, Assassins against Beastmen, they're okay. Yeah, certainly good for taking out like the Bray characters on foot and Morkers. Yeah, an Assassin's pretty good, and from there I would just like play a much more Death Star kind of build, but it's still tough. I always do struggle with this matchup, so Aneurysm Sauce almost pulling it out was quite great, and very well played to AK Destroyer. Some very, very good hound play and flanking and all that sort of good stuff. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the Skaven vs. Beastmen game. We'll see you guys back with more content soon. Take care.